and then we record the meeting and it's posted so anybody can come late and see the meeting if they have to. That way we satisfy all those public records law issues.
All right, Tracy, I sent that over.
Okay, just waiting on it to come through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just go verify that it is working. All right, you good to go?
I'm stuck. I ain't going anywhere. Hmm? The cheddar soup, cheddar broccoli soup. Sound good because it's cold out. I was like, he said, come get something. I'm like, yeah.
You're not muted, Melissa.
Yes, should be good to go.
All right. Thank you very much, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Val, you have the floor.
I call to order the Acupuncture Advisory Committee meeting today.
I second it.
Do we need a third? I third it if we need that?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Calling the meeting order does not need a vote.
Okay.
Good.
So we're looking at the renaming of the NCC-AOM, National Certification Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine.
Yes.
Is having a name change, and that's gonna we need it to reflect in our law and our rules. So that's the first thing that we need to talk about.
What do you want us to say is the new name exactly?
Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up. It's the National, let's see. I'm sorry.
It's I have it pulled up here, Val. It's the National Certification Board for Acupuncture and Herbal Medicine.
Herbal medicine. Yeah, that's what the H is. There it is. Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
As we highlight this herbal medicine thing,
Mm-hmm.
we have a committee on alternative medicines, such as herbal medicines. We may have to put that activity in acupuncture conjoined into that committee so that issues relative to the use of herbal medicines would be all unified in the board. Are you all comfortable with that way of doing it? Or do you want to keep it separate?
Chinese herbal medicine is specific for the acupuncture practitioners. So you're not going to have an MD or a naturopathic doctor or any kind of an integrative, even like an integrative medicine nurse practitioner, for example, that might have that kind of training. It's rare that they're going to be telling people to take Chinese herbal medicine because our training is very specific that we have for Chinese herbs. And there's a Chinese herbal medicine certification that you also get through the National Certification Commission. So I don't know how appropriate.
So let me ask you a question.
I don't know how appropriate that would be.
And I'd like to add something to this. Oriental medical practitioners are the only licensed herbalists in the United States.
However, physicians prescribe herbal medicines and alternative medicines because they are licensed to do so also.
But no other people are.
All right, I got that. But again, some of that can be delegated, so we have to talk about that. But my concern is this. If we have, or do you think we will ever have, an acupuncturist / herbal medicine specialist prescribing non-Chinese herbal medicines?
Likely, I say yes.
That's why I'm thinking we ought to be talking about combining this.
Okay.
Because once you cross over out of Chinese, you're into the realm of the alternative and herbal medicine group that we have already.
Well,
Okay.
Chinese
What I'm saying is, here's where it's going to get problematic. Technically, what you're telling me is, if a if a non-Chinese herbal medicine is prescribed by an acupuncturist who is not a physician, technically they're not trained to do so. Is that correct?
right.
And so that when the disciplinary issues come, we're going to have to deal with it that way. And that's why I want to.
But a lot of Chinese herbs are the same as Western herbs. They just have Chinese names. So you need to understand that.
And there's
also.
that layer. Yes.
But again, when we get a complaint, we need a unified place to go. So we may have to expand our alternative medicine advisory committee to include somebody like Valerie or you, Dr. Snow.
Okay. And is it called the Alternative Medicine Advisory Committee, or is it called the Integrative Medicine Advisory Committee?
I'd have
I
to
think
look
it's
it up.
integrative is what I'm thinking.
I have to look it up, and I don't have it at the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
I just want to make sure. I mean, I know what it does, and I want to make sure where there's crossover, we have the opportunity for you to have representation at that area. And that's what I want. But I'll look it up right now if you need me to. Hold on a minute.
Integrative and complementary medicine.
Integrative and complementary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got to it myself. And okay.
Okay.
You want 1 or 2 members of your advisory of the acupuncture group advisory committee on that.
I think 2 of us, because if one can't make it or something, we need backup.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure.
Need to
Yeah.
make sure whoever's on that committee has certification in Oriental medicine, herbal medicine. Some of us don't. Some of us do.
Yeah.
But you want somebody on the committee that's certified.
So that's going to be Dr. Snow and Ashley Miller.
I think Valerie is a great choice.
I never took the herbal exam.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I did. I'm certified for that, so I'm happy to serve.
All right, well, what we'll do is as we rewrite it, we'll, because we're going to have to modify that to make sure we complement all of this. Because we've never really called attention to the herbal side of you all.
Mm-hmm.
Once it get out there, people will be talking about it. We want to make sure we treat everybody fairly.
A lot of people don't know that Oriental medicine is a complete medicine. A lot of people don't. They think we just do acupuncture. That's not what we do.
Well, and this is, as things change, we have to make sure the recognition is such that we all are on the same page, and that's what I'm trying to do. All right. So the next thing, you wanted to change the name of the committee.
Did I say
Or-
that? No.
Committee name change you put on there.
I don't know where that came from.
All right. So then we can limit. All right. Then you wanted to talk about a rule revision.
There was it might be part of the law if we're going to have to go get the law changed to reflect the NCCAOM title, right?
Right.
There was a part in the old law back in 2016 that we got taken out that said, this was back when we only had to have a doctor, when we had to have a doctor under our license. And so it said that, only a person doing acupuncture could had to be an MD, or someone who's trained in acupuncture has to be working under a doctor's supervision. And then the other thing, we said, well, this doesn't apply to anyone, so just take it out. The third thing was any individual employed by a Louisiana hospital or clinic for research purposes may perform acupuncture. And we said, we're not using that, just take it out. Well, now we're at a point where no, we do want to do more studies and clinical trials using acupuncture, and we might be in a position where we have more like an acupuncture technician sort of individual that they're just told, you put these 5 points in all these patients for this study, and that's your job. So how are we able to put that back in is my question. And I don't know if that's something that we could just do through the rules or it has to be put through the
Let's go back and we got to look at the Practice
Practice
Act
Act.
first.
because it was
So-
in the Practice Act back in 2018.
Okay, well, here's the current Practice Act, okay, on the
Mhm.
screen. So this is what it means: detoxification specialist board, licensed acupuncturist, NADA. That's not going to change, I don't think.
No, we're
Physician.
not messing with any of that.
Okay, right. So physician, acupuncturist, those are definitions. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
fine. Y'all are comfortable with that. Physician, acupuncturist, training and hours requirement. Okay. So then practice of acupuncture detoxification, when that's not going to change.
Hmm.
Licensed acupuncture relation holds a status.
Oh,
So this is where we got to make the change on the name. Make a note.
I don't think you're going to find it in there because we took it out.
I think this
But we got to figure out where we're going to
1358,
put it. That's the first thing.
hold on, this 1358 right here where it says licensed acupuncturist relationship with a physician,
Right.
that was changed between 16 and 18, but the relationship with the physician was taken out completely. So can you
It has not
scroll?
been taken out, so that's, we got to correct it. It is currently in the law.
I think this has not been updated because
No, because it doesn't say anything. They changed the text in this portion. They did not change the title. So we got to change the title.
um
I'm a terrible typist. You have to forgive me.
you can't dictate.
All right, so we'll fix that. And this is going to state that we're going to change the name here. And so including the biomedicine, so do we want to change that to Chinese herbal medicine portion?
No, that's still like a section of the exam that you take is the
Okay,
biomedicine
and all we're going to
portion.
change is the name change here.
Correct.
All right, good enough. Okay. All right, so let's keep reading on. Annual report. Okay, we do that. Powers and duties of the board. All of that's the same. Okay. So that's the law. Okay. So that's what we're going to do with the law. All right, so hang on a minute. Let me get. All right, so now let's go back and get the, okay, so let's get the rules up. All right, so these are our rules. All right, so here, this is going to stay the same. That's going to stay the same. All right, certification, licensing. Okay. Annual renewal, that's going to stay the same. All right, scope of the chapter, that's the same. Acupuncture Practice Act stays the same. Acupuncture means the same definition. The AcuDetox, the same. Applicant application. Certification. Okay. General supervision. So this is something that probably needs to come out of the rule, right?
General supervision has to do with the NADA group. Those are the people that can just do the 5 points on the ear.
Okay, all right. So y'all are supervising them. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, or doctors, MDs can do that too, but yeah,
All right.
that stays.
Okay, good enough.
Well, I think what we're trying to do is, you know, how Western physicians, MDs, have physician assistants. We'd like to have acupuncture assistants on that same.
Well, I don't think we're going to get a new licensing class for that, okay? Because they're going to say, if you want to work under a physician, go to work for them as an acupuncturist. I don't think because you can't give the same privileges to an acupuncture assistant that I give to you. Because that would then invalidate the concept of having your license. But if an acupuncturist wants to work under an MD, nobody's going to care about that because you'll still be working as an acupuncturist for an MD.
But I used to be a PA. That's what I did for 22 years.
I understand.
How was I able to do that without, I had to get certified.
But again, a PA cannot do everything that a physician can do.
No, but they can do a lot of it.
They cannot do under the law everything that a physician does. Believe me, trust me. If you tried, you
surgery. I did that without a physician on ship.
Well, then you broke the law. Please don't tell me about it in a public meeting.
That's the federal government.
Please don't tell me about that in a public meeting that you broke the law because it specifically says
That's a
you
different
cannot
state.
do surgery.
The federal government.
Okay. So again, what I'm trying to tell you is there are PAs who are violating the law, and hope it's not you. And they are, in fact, but unfortunately, we cannot go out and look for them. When we get a complaint, we deal with them.
Yeah.
But PAs by law cannot do surgery. They only may assist in surgery. And that's the law. I can show it to you if you want to talk about it offline.
Oh, I know about the surgeon assistant program.
Okay, so let's talk about, do you want somebody with your qualifications to be an acupuncture assistant?
No, I want somebody who, under supervision, can do specific acupuncture points.
So how can an MD who is not an acupuncture physician, because remember that a PA, and you use the example of PA, a PA derives their scope of practice from the physician, and the physician has to be able to do the same thing.
Right.
So again, you envision that the acupuncturist will be working, say, in an orthopedic clinic with orthopedists, okay? That needs to be a fully trained, fully licensed acupuncturist and not an acupuncturist with a limited license, because none of those orthopedists in that group know anything about acupuncture. See what I'm getting at? They can't grant something the privilege they can't do.
That's right.
So again, I don't mind if you all want to work there, but if you create a subset that's an acupuncture assistant, they won't be able to work for doctors unless the doctor is an acupuncturist as well.
I see that.
Okay.
But yet MDs can do acupuncture.
Well, again, just like an MD can be licensed as a physician acupuncturist. I, as a physician, could not do acupuncture, okay, because I am not licensed to do so. You are licensed to do so. And if I go take 300 hours like my old partner, Dr. Wiedemann, did to do pelvic floor acupuncture, he's doing it and he's getting great results.
Well, you got a physical therapist doing dry needling, which is acupuncture without a license.
Well, give me a complaint, sign your name to it, and we will investigate, Dr. Snow.
I can do that.
Send it to me. I'll be waiting for it.
Okay. Can I say something, please?
Sure.
I just want to clarify this. The idea of having Dr. Snow wants to use the title acupuncture assistant. In Florida and Arizona, they are looking at adding the term acupuncture assistant to, it's basically a med tech. So it's someone who can take the needles out. Okay. And then they want to give them an acupuncture assistant title.
If they're working for you, Valerie, that's fine.
That's my understanding.
Well, but again, we would have to confine it to the fact that they work solely for the acupuncturist, not for any doctor.
Correct. Yes. So that's the direction that language would go in, and that's not something I'm not saying that's something we need to look at right now.
Okay,
however,
well,
this is falling under. This is back to if they don't have to have the title acupuncture assistant. It's just someone who's employed by a licensed acupuncturist or a doctor who is doing research, clinical trials. They're allowed to put needles in the people under the direction and supervision of that practitioner.
That's a different situation.
That's what
okay?
I'm trying to work. That's the angle that I'm trying to work here.
And again, I think right now, unless you want to go through a wholesale change and fight a scope crap. And let me just tell you something. There's a scope creep battle getting ready to start. I don't want to give the legislature another one. If you do this now, you're going to get caught in that crossfire and you're going to get shot down. That's just a political reality. I think leave it stated the way it is so that the doctor doing the research is going to pick the most qualified person to do it. But what I'm concerned about is if we have set up an acupuncture assistant license that works for Valerie, we got no problem. Works for Dr. Snow or Ashley Miller, we got no problem. But if that acupuncture assistant steps out and goes to work for Dr. Collada, who's doing research, we got a problem. Because Dr. Collada cannot delegate something he can't do and supervise.
I understand now. Thank you for that.
Okay. I'm just trying to make it clean, consistent across the way we do everything and not get anybody in trouble. The political reality of it is, Val, if you want to press on with this in the rules, and I think we can later on after the session, but I'd like to, let's confine to what we need to change right now to what we need to change.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So moving back along, physician, all of these are fine. You would NADA, primary practice site, proposed supervising licensed acupuncturist, proposed supervising physician. This needs to probably be changed, right?
No, that's for the NADA people, the NADA people.
This is only, okay.
That
Super-
pertains to the NADA people.
All right, so all of this is about NADA.
No, just the supervising
Okay,
acupuncture person.
Let's start from this paragraph here all the way down. Okay, when does NADA stop? Right here? Is that just what NADA includes?
NADA,
This stuff.
yes.
Looks like it.
All right, well, then we just have to format this to reflect it's just for NADA, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay, well, it's more about the proposed supervising licensed acupuncturist pertains to NADA, and the proposed supervising physician pertains to NADA.
Okay,
And then
so
the
primary, so-
supervising licensed acupuncturist, and then the supervising physician. So those
now,
last.
wait a minute, okay. So this does not apply to NADA, right here.
No, it just says that's a definition of a physician
That's why I'm
acupuncturist.
trying to get this, I want to clear this
Yeah.
up. That's what
That's
I'm
just
trying to do, is
physician
clear this up.
acupuncturist. Yeah, that's just an MD who's doing acupuncture is all that is.
I understand, but it appears to be, and you've interpreted to me that it's under the NADA, and we need to change that.
No, that's alphabetical order, which is why it sits under the NADA in
No.
this list.
Well, okay, but you see, this doesn't say NADA for these.
So those need to have NADA put in it then.
Okay, if that's what I want to make sure what you see, because this appears to be right in this, the old stuff that we took out of the law.
No, look at supervising physician is a physician registered with the board under the chapter to supervise an acupuncture detox specialist. That's a NADA person.
Okay, is this a NADA person? Okay.
The
All right, so
supervise.
what about this one? This doesn't say NADA in it.
So we
and
need
this
to put
doesn't-
NADA
It
in it.
should, yeah, that should, you just need to add,
Okay, so this is where
For
we're
an
going to add NADA. I
acupuncture.
want to get everybody on the same page. Give me a
Yeah.
minute.
Or also
Or-
known as it's also called the acupuncture detox
yeah,
specialist.
the other ones say
ADS.
acupuncture detox specialist, probably want to keep it the same.
All right, that's fine.
Your autocorrect isn't working, Dr. Van.
I don't type very well when it doesn't have autocorrect here. You have to take I make no bones about it. I'm a shit guy. You'll have to
He'll
forgive
get,
me.
you get the gist of what he's trying to do.
This is my notes for the after we meet.
Knew what that means.
All right, supervising licensed acupuncturist. Is this a NADA issue?
Yeah, but
Yes.
it's already in there.
Okay, and we're okay. Universal precautions, that's not part of NADA, it's a standard definition. Okay, all right, so then we move on. Acupuncturist certification physician, that still stays the same. Okay, application procedure for physician, that still stays the same. And then we're here, detox. Is any of this going to change?
No.
Okay. And this is the same thing for the supervising physician. Okay, procedure, application procedure for you all. Okay, so let's see what that says. Okay, because what we're going to be doing is changing some of this. And in the 26 year, we hope to change a lot of this so that you hear this. Right now, you all apply, you pay, and then we chase documents with you, okay? Hopefully by the end of 26, your application will be such that you supply each of the documents in the form of a PDF file on the initial application, and you can't pay until you do. And that way, as soon as you pay, the longest time it takes is to get your fingerprints and your criminal background check. So we can move the number of days from under 20 to closer to 0. Okay, so that's going to happen, but our rules will allow for that. Okay. And we want to keep this, if you don't mind, for my staff. Okay, if you don't have a problem with that. Okay. And the same thing is going to happen here. Okay. And this is going to be the same application form ultimately. Board approved schools and colleges. Okay, let's go here. All right, are you comfortable with this definition of approved schools and colleges?
Uh,
Looks,
I am.
Miss Ashley, Dr. Snow?
looks good. It looks like
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks-
I
it
read
looks
this
good
the
to
other
me.
day. I didn't have an issue with it.
yeah, because
All
none
right,
of them
good.
have changed their names or anything, so.
All right, good.
except
And I
Moving.
definitely keep in C, the board may approve additional schools or programs providing training in acupuncture upon the request of an applicant or application by such school or program. I think that's important to keep in.
But understand that the board is moving to more standardization,
Yeah.
because here's the thing, everybody wants their license like that. If the board has to look at a school, it's going to take 2 or 3 months to grant that license, because we have to do our research on that school. So that's why we like the fact that we got ACAOM, ACAOM, and NACSOM. Okay, because that way, that's easy for us, because we can
Mhm.
process things faster for the applicant. Because ultimately, what the board's going to say is, oh, the acupuncture advisory committee's got to meet and tell us if that school's verified. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to leave it in, I'll leave it in. But generally, I think procedurally, it's a bad idea.
To leave C in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what if LSU Allied Health decides that they're going to do a master's in acupuncture program and then they don't have that ACAOM? What if they don't have their ACAOM accreditation
That's
yet?
going to be a problem. They're going to have
it-
to get it.
It takes it takes 2 years or so to get it.
Well, again, that's going to be their problem to deal with. Okay. Again, the board may approve. If you say this, we're still going to be looking at ACAOM to see if they're approved.
Okay.
If you go outside of the ACAOM, then we're gonna have a problem. See what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
That first class at LSU may have a serious problem, but that's not our problem, that's their problem.
Everyone has to have certification, accreditation.
Right,
I mean, even Western medicine, so
right.
everyone
We-
does.
I mean, that's we stand. Valerie and Van can't open the Valerie and Van School of Medicine and expect people to get accredited licenses. Okay,
It's a catchy name though.
I like it. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. All right. I don't think any of this needs to change. If anybody has a problem with it, let me know. All the way to here. So then we're talking about expiration and termination. This is all pretty much standard language for the board. Okay. Renewal of certification, verification of registration. Now, becomes one thing. Are the registrations that you get time certificated these days?
Could you repeat that?
Okay. So if you get a certification by this new board that's coming up, or the current board that's just changing its name,
Yeah.
are there going to be time limited certifications?
4 years, and you have
Oh,
to
it's
renew.
every 4 years.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to
4
renew
years.
every 4 years.
All right, so then we have to make sure that at every renewal, you give us the current status of your certification.
Right.
Okay,
So, okay, there's what we have in the law is that you get like you have to be current with NCC AOM to get licensed here,
right.
but we never put in that you have to keep it current.
And most
Well-
states don't, but that you
So
should.
So
I'm
you
just
don't
saying
want
that
to?
is,
Um,
I mean, well, what about people who haven't been current for 3 years and they had their license here?
Well, we're going to be stopping them. Or we
I
should be
mean,
stopping.
that's
We don't ask for it right now. The
okay.
name's changing. We're going to ask for it. We can send out an email as we change these rules that everybody has to get. The board is considering making certification to be now, we don't-
Current. Your
current.
certification has to be current to maintain your
Right.
licensure.
So do you want to do that is really the question.
I don't think so because we already have the CEs, the CMEs. We have to have 15 every year to get
Okay,
our
so-
renewal for the medical board. And you have to do 15, you have to have 60 every 4 years to have your renewal for the NCC AOM.
So
And that's
basically-
all you need for NCC AOM. It's not like you have to take another test or it's
Yeah.
literally
Okay.
only CE requirements.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Right now, the rules say each registered supervising physician, supervising licensed acupuncturist shall annually verify the accuracy of registration information on file with the board in a format approved by the board. So if we ask for it and you can't give it, what do you want to keep you? I mean, again, this is, and let me say this to you. I have no problem saying board certification is not the purview of the board, LSBME. And you may want to keep that certification or you may not. With the way the rules are written, we are supposed to be checking it every year.
So that what we're looking at 2129 number C,
Right.
that's talking about supervising physician and supervised licensed acupuncturist. Those are people that oversee the NADA people, the AcuDetox, the ADS, the AcuDetox specialist. So I don't know why.
Okay, so then
I don't know why that's in the language to verify the accuracy of registration information on file with the medical board in a format approved by a board. I mean, that's,
So then you want to take this out.
I don't know why that is, I didn't write that rule. I don't
I
know why
never
that's in
said-
there.
Wait a minute. This is not about who wrote it and why. This is about, do we want to keep it in, take it out, or modify it?
It doesn't seem like we need it in there because if you're a supervising physician or a supervising acupuncturist, you're already going to have to be licensed by the board. Like the board's already going to know that we're licensed in order to do
Yeah.
that.
All right, so let's take
It's
this out.
redundant.
And we
Yeah,
still-
that might be overkill.
and we
Yeah.
still
That's what
get
I'm
the-
trying to say. I've been trying to tell you, let's take it out.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Reinstatement of an expired license. So if you expired for less than 2 years, this is the process. So if you expire for 2 years, do you want to require a new recertification?
So this would be somebody who like moved out of state and didn't renew and then wanted to renew their license after a couple of years, I'm assuming.
Less than 2 years. So let's
Less than
say,
2 years.
or let's say you just didn't renew your license because you weren't working.
Right.
You had a baby and you didn't work for a year and a half. Now you want to come back in. Do you want that person to have that certification re-upped by the organization that we're changing the name for?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. So would we want that person to have to redo their NCCAOM certification?
Right.
That's the question.
If they
Yes.
let it lapse.
If they let that lapse. Okay. Not the
Yeah, I
Louisiana
think you
one.
just got to pay a bunch of money and take some classes to recertify. I don't think you have to go take another exam again.
No, they make you pay a lot of money though.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on a minute. At this point, all they do is affidavit, recent photograph, information, documentation, may require evidence qualification for licensure. So we're going to come to you and say, is this person qualified? Well, they hadn't worked in a year and a half. Well, how are you going to do it? You're going to say, no, you can't do it if you hadn't worked in a year and a half. How do we know they hadn't lost the touch? You know, that's why I was suggesting that if you went back to saying if they have to be recertified, you at least have a standard that you know they met. It may be the minimum standard, but it's a standard that you know they met.
Well, the problem with the board like NCCAOM certification, it's a paper test. So that's got nothing to do with your touch and your skill in acupuncture. It's your knowledge of the acupuncture points and that kind of thing. It's got nothing to do with your touch. As it were.
So how are we going to evaluate that?
Well, I assume if I rode a bicycle when I was 10, I can still ride it today. May not be very good, but I can still ride it.
And if you fall off and break a leg, that's your problem. But if you damage somebody's sural nerve doing acupuncture, that's a bigger problem.
Yeah. But I'm pretty confident in my skill.
But you're doing it every day, Dr. Snow.
Every day for a long time.
But if you stop doing it for a year and a half or almost 2 years, do you think you'll still be as good?
I don't know. I've never stopped.
My point is, if you can't tell what you would be like, how will we know that Jane Doe is going to be able to be good if she took a year and a half off to have a baby?
How do the MDs handle it?
We require recertification or testing after a
What-
certain point.
Your board testing, retaking your boards?
They can take, we use a 10-year, okay, just to give you an idea. We don't do much with the 2-year. We take if you haven't had a current certification, so you don't have to practice, but maintain your board certification,
Uh-huh.
and you don't have a problem, okay? But if you don't maintain your board certification, then we say you got to either take the boards and get board certified or take the special exam in medicine.
Okay, what if that acupuncture doctor or acupuncturist has maintained the certification but hasn't practiced for a year and a half or 2 years?
I think, well, but we just said earlier, we don't want to do, they don't have to maintain it. So you can't have it both ways.
Ah, I see here. Well, if you don't have to maintain it, you'd have to do something.
That's what I'm trying to figure out what we want to do.
I just follow how y'all do the procedure with the MDs.
But they maintain certification. We just said we didn't need to maintain certification because we get
Some
the
of us may,
CPUs.
look, there are 3 kinds of doctors right now. So you'll get it. Old farts like Dr. Collada, who has a lifetime certificate for certification. He will never lose his. The young guys that have to take it every 10 years, and there's some people that get annual recertification, okay? So the question is, you have said 4 years, okay? But my point is, maybe we should say people should be currently certified, and if they're not, they can't do this thing without recertifying after they haven't worked. Because that's what we do with the doctor. If a doctor drops his certification for more than 10 years, he's not board certified. So it could be, if I'm taking the annual exam guy, the next year I don't take it, I'm not board certified, okay? So it could be 1 year, whatever so again, that's what I'm trying to say. It may be better to annually update your certification.
I update mine, but I know a lot of people don't. And some states, they don't require it. The statements like in Texas, you must have passed the board for certification.
Well,
That-
Texas has their own acupuncture exam and certification board.
Used to, yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of states just require you must have passed it and been certified. Then they let their license drop because it doesn't say you have to maintain it. That's what a lot of states do.
All right, that's fine. If you want to
yeah,
leave it that
sure.
way, that's fine. We're making these rules to work for you. And I just think you're gonna when push comes to shove, we may regret it, but let's leave it alone. We'll figure it out later. All right, so now let's talk about in excess of 2 years. Okay. Now here's where we say in excess of 2 years, they have to reapply with the same thing as the initial licensing. So they would have to be certified at that point.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. We're going to leave it like that. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Restricted licensure permit. The board is going to, as a matter of course, only issues emergency temporary permits. So that's not a problem. Okay. And our advisory committee composition, we have your new doctor appointed. He just couldn't make it, your new MD. But the rest of this, the committee, this is our job here at the committee. We'll provide the board with recommendations to applications for licensure. So you may get some of those education requirements for licensure, changes in related statutes and rules, from other functions that the board's particular. So basically, they're going to be sending you things they may want to. For example, there may be a recommendation for discipline that the board gets, and their board may say, "Ooh, let's go ahead and ask the acupuncture advisory committee what they think about this discipline." So that's the stuff you're going to be getting. Okay. This is our committee meetings at least once a year. Confidentiality in discharging your work. Continuing education. Okay. And this is where we need to be. We need to set a standard on who qualifies for continuing education. We need to probably put it in the rules. We don't right now. Okay. So we say any educational program by the national certification. And so that should, because you want to leave it like that?
We
Well,
got to
it's gonna be
change
a name change, but
the
yeah.
name.
Right. All right. All right. Documentation procedure. Okay. We know now that it's all done through CE Broker. We can add the CE, the electronic CE tracker. We'll do that. Okay. All right. And then failure to satisfy. And basically, this has changed altogether. So we're going to update this for your current use of CE Broker. All right. right. And basically, you know now that if you don't provide at the application for renewal, if a CE broker can't tell us you did them all, we just have a hard stop and you can't renew. And everybody's comfortable with that. We haven't changed that anything. That's been standard across all of our license classes. And this allows us in times of issues relative to somebody getting sick, has a major car accident, can't work for 6 or 8 months, can't get their CEs, or there's a COVID crisis and CEs are not available or whatever. You know, so anyway, that provides for that. And this is what we do with all of this. Anybody who's a federal employee assigned to a federal institution, we don't require licensure in Louisiana for them. Now, the minute they step out in moonlight, that's a different story. But if all they do is work for the Fed at the VA or whatever, they don't need a Louisiana license. The Fed determines what licenses they need. Sometimes the Fed says we want them to be Louisiana licensed. Sometimes they say we want them to have a license in any state of the union. But that becomes the agency itself and how they do it. So I think we should leave that alone. All right. Anybody have trouble with this thing about supervision for the ADS?
Nope.
No.
Limitations of license to the ADS? Okay. All right, report obligations and responsibilities, that's all fine. Causes of action, suspension, okay. This is pretty much standard across all of our things. So that just kind of is good practice. Talk about probation. Now, just so you'll know, sometimes the board has to use probation. That's pretty much of a problem, and the board is looking for ways to get away from that when we can. There'll be times when we can't, but we're trying to do fewer probations. But right now, and then we're also going to try and increase all of our fines much higher, and that's where we get off of probation. But anyway, we're still working on that in the legislature. So that's it. Everybody's comfortable with all those changes?
Yeah, there is one more thing I learned. The
Okay.
ACAOM, the American Accreditation Commission. Can you scroll down more or back up top the other way? I'm sorry. About accredited schools, that section. Keep going.
Qualified programs, okay.
No,
a little higher.
Yeah, keep going. Right. Okay, approval of schools. That's it. Go back a little bit, please. Yeah. And go a little bit more. Okay, that's good. The ACAOM, Accreditation Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. Their name is changed to the Accreditation Commission for Acupuncture and Herbal Medicine.
Okay, so do me a favor and send me an email with that name change.
Okay.
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 Did the other one change, Val? Did you look? I haven't looked at
Yeah,
that.
the ACAOM changed.
But this other one though, the NA, this really long
that one,
acronym?
yeah, I think that's the predecessor.
Oh, that's their predecessor.
Yeah.
So this
So
is
now
their
there's two
another name
predecessors
change.
now.
Got you.
And then there's
Okay.
two predecessors. Yeah.
Got you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
All right. So you'll send me the name change for,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure we're changing this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I highlighted one.
And the right above that,
No, the first one.
the
This one.
ACAOM,
That
one.
one.
All
Yeah.
right, hang on. That's the one we'll change.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good enough. And you're gonna send that to me.
Yeah, I did.
All right, good enough. I haven't looked at my email yet. All right. Anything else? I think we've concluded the business we need to do. And let me give you a timeline on a lot of this stuff. The name change that we do in the law, I'm gonna try and get that added in for this coming session. Once that's done, we change the rules, okay? And the rules will take a little bit longer, and I'm gonna wait until February when Miss Lauren returns from maternity leave, our second lawyer, and I will put her on the task of doing these rules, okay? But the first thing we're gonna try and do is get a law change to reflect what we have to change in the law and the new name. All right, let's go
Sounds
back.
good.
Let me go back, just so we don't miss anything. I'm sorry to be so OCD, but you'll have to forgive me. All right, so the only places we're really doing is changing these names. Okay, and that's really all we're doing. You didn't want to put anything else in the law, right? Law is very short, and I just want to make sure we keep it the way it is. Okay, good enough. Well, I have a business, so unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Did we address our original question of these acupuncture assistants being able to help in research by putting this needle?
Dr. Van said no because it's going to create a turf war.
Oh, I see. I thought we didn't address
We'll
it.
talk more about that later. I'm going to
No.
get more ammo and we'll have another conversation.
Look, I'm willing to look at anything, but here's what you need to
All right.
understand. The acupuncture assistant is going to have to work under an acupuncturist.
That's right.
Whether that be you, Val, you, Dr. Snow, or somebody like you, Ashley, or somebody like Dr. Wiedemann, who is an MD acupuncturist. How can a gynecologist who's not an MD acupuncturist supervise an acupuncture assistant? Just like we don't let nurse practitioners supervise PAs.
The problem that we're having right now is they're wanting to do medical research on acupuncture, and there's only 39 of us or however many of us in the state, and there's not enough of us to see that many patients to do this research that they're trying to get a grant for.
I'd like
well-
to can we table this, please?
Move to table it. It's gotta
Table
be a
it.
vote.
Please.
You want to move the table until the next meeting or indefinitely?
Until the next meeting.
All right, there's a motion and it needs a second.
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
All
Thank
in
you.
favor of tabling it,
Yes.
say aye.
Aye.
Have one. So all against tabling it. Hearing none, it passes.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, can we join this meeting?
Anytime you're ready, all you have to do is say
Okay.
move to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn the Acupuncture Advisory Committee meeting.
Thank you for all your help and work. I appreciate it very much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
bet.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
y'all.
Bye-bye.